Type 2 diabetes is a metabolic disease in which your body is no longer able to utilize carbohydrates as fuel. And the essential reason for that is the lack of the ability for insulin, which is the hormone in your body, to cause your tissues to take up glucose and utilize it as fuel. Coincident with type 2 diabetes, there is this massive growing obesity epidemic, and there is also sort of in parallel with that a growing type 2 diabetes epidemic. And actually there has been a phrase now that's been coined called diabesity, because people who are morbidly obese often are also type 2 diabetic. For numerous decades it was thought that bariatric surgeries result in massive weight loss, whether it be a procedure that just makes the stomach smaller, like gastric banding, or the procedures like gastric bypass surgery, which involve anatomical rearrangements of the intestinal tract. It was probably about 15 years ago that they started noticing that weight loss surgery, particularly gastric bypass surgery, results in not only just immediate resolution of type 2 diabetes, and that was unknown for a very long time. So in April of 2009, I decided to apply for a stimulus grant that was put out by the National Institute of Health, and they put out a grant request in numerous areas of research. One of them happened to be the area of research in which I am very interested in, and that is the improvement in metabolism that occurs following bariatric surgical procedures. We utilize rodent models, and we use them as a tool to basically try to get at the mechanisms that underlie the improvement in metabolic effects that happen after the surgical procedures. And so we utilize a surgical procedure called ileal interposition, where we take that lower portion of the intestine and we move it higher up in the intestinal tract, therefore stimulating the cells that are present in that segment of intestine to cause an increase in hormonal secretion, other beneficial things that might cause improvements in the metabolism of that individual after they have a procedure. They get involved in a wide variety of skills. Everything from, because we study obesity and diabetes, they get exposed to things as simple as measuring food intake and body weight for our animals in our laboratory, and up to doing very sophisticated things such as microsurgery in the animals to do the various bariatric surgical procedures in the rodents and the rats that we use. And then they even get exposed to various molecular techniques in our lab. So we hope that we can perhaps come up with some sort of combination therapy, whether it be a combination of agonists or antagonists or some types of drugs that would mimic some of those hormonal changes in the body that occur after surgery. So therefore we could come up with a pill that someone could take that might mimic the effects of gastric bypass surgery without having to take a permanently altering, anatomically altering surgical procedure such as gastric bypass.